12 o'clock. I'm still awake. Why? Because I don't know any better. And I just burped. Welcome back to Project Rampage. This is the life and times of the underdog of the underrated before he was considered the underdog of the underrated. I told the hardest part of my life, which was life in Japan. Now I have to say, another thing about Japan was the fact that right happened, right happened, right after all this, one thing led to another. I was still in school, being taught about Japanese culture and everything. And when everything was just going ugly, one thing that happened, the one thing that really happened that I will never forget that ever happened to me. I had a choice to either endure this because it was parent, you know, the love wasn't there anymore. I was being treated like a second-rate citizen there in the house that I basically worked my damnedest to actually keep clean and everything. Because after all, I was a house husband at one point. Something like what a housewife does, but totally different. Anyway, she gave me a choice. Either I live in the same house with her, or I can live out on the street. I chose to live out on the street because anything was better than what I was doing to begin with. I mean, really, it was just that bad. It was that bad, and I just say, you know what? I don't want it anymore. So I packed up a bag. I packed up a bag. I had two bags, but I packed up one bag. Carried my work with me. Carried my work with me. My schoolwork, that is. Continued to study the culture, the language, and everything under these dire circumstances. And with that, I just said screw it. So I lived on the street for maybe about 2 weeks or so. My family was so worried about me. They prayed that I come back safe and sound in one piece and everything. Once again, church basically prayed for my safety. I lived out on the street for about a couple of days or so. I knew what it was like for the other. I knew what it was like for the other life to live. You know. I mean, now, yes, I know what it feels like. It doesn't feel all that great. The difference was the people in Japan were scared. They were more scared than anything. Total opposite of total opposite of here. So the total opposite of this was just that. You didn't see anybody try to, scam anybody just because, they wanted somebody to, excuse me, help them in their cause for some weed. Rest Tuesday. Heroin is marijuana and heroin. No. The fear was apparent. I'm kind of losing my voice. But I can get through this. Yeah, I can get through this. I know I can get through this. I know I can get through this. Ugh. So what happened? Where am I? Day 95? Awesome. So, excuse me. What happened was, after all that has been said and done, I survived off of rice balls and sushi. And McDonald's. Since the food there was so cheap, I could afford to squeeze in a meal every so often. And when I made good use of the pocket change I had. I mean, I went to the arcade during the day. On certain days, I went to my class, and after I went to class, well, I still had the key. I managed to sneak in the house, get a quick shower, and leave again. My neighbors were, still a good friend of mine who got me out to begin with, just stopped talking to me. And then after which, I just went and for the rest of the day until 7 a.m. at night, I went to the I went to the arcade shop. I mean the little game shop because it opened late. Like from 11 to 2 from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. something like that. Good hours, real good hours. I knew my way around, so I was safe. I knew my way around Yotsukaitoshi, so I was safe. I, of course, had help. I had a brother named Frank. Yeah, he's a pastor of his own church. I stayed, help him support his church just by being there. Best kind of support you can actually give, just being there at somebody else's church. So, with that, I consulted him, confided in him, and he wanted to get me out. And what he said, I'll never forget. He says, "You lost your Japan privileges. That means from now on, don't come back here unless you are invited back." I said, "No problem." I didn't have to worry about anything. He said, "Well, we're gonna arrange the whole thing for you." Don't worry about it. Expenses will be taken care of. All you need to do is hold out for a couple of days. The only thing that was needed was money for the baggage, which my mom provided. So, in a case like this, yeah, my mom provided that, and simply put, she was willing to pay anything just to have me back. So, after which, I managed to get through it. As soon as I was safe, it just all went, you know. Oh man, taking out the Midwest, one hit at a time. So what I'm gonna do is after this, I've reached the 100 spot. I know I've reached the 100 spot. But anyway, my point was that I've passed the worst part of my life has just passed. I mean, Japan, yes, I've been through the worst of the worst. I've been sick. I was married. I nearly died there. Most people don't know this, but yeah, I nearly died there. But you know what? I am still alive to tell the tale of what happened to me and what happened after which. So to those who were listening, thank you. You don't have to. You don't have to subscribe or well, well yeah. Subscribe is always cool. But I mean, you don't have to comment about it. If you want to comment about it, feel free to. But really, I've never been like that in all my life. Seriously, I've never been like that in all my life, and I don't think I ever will do something like that ever again. You know why? Because just like this is a one-time thing, Project Rampage rather, so is this telling of my life. This is a one-time thing, and I am publicly telling this to the people of YouTube as my main audience. For those for those who are there, listening, whether it's too much to bear or where it's whether it's not enough to handle or where it's too much to deal with. This is me. This is all me, and you know, setting aside my usual personality. Yeah, this is me. This is the same personality which you've been listening to since day one in August, and it's still going strong in this month of October. So when we come back, folks, we're in day one. We're in the 100th day. You know what that means? When we come back, we're probably gonna put an end to this, but probably not. So stay tuned for more of my life through the project that is Rampage. Right after this.